Living a Safe Universe, Volume 4, Seth and Psychic Health. Chapter 3. In your system of reality, you are learning what mental energy is and how to use it. You do this by constantly transforming your thoughts and emotions into physical form. You are supposed to get a clear picture of your inner development by perceiving the exterior environment. What seems to be a perception, an objective, concrete event independent from you, is instead the materialization of your own inner emotions, energy, and mental environment. Seth, the Seth Material, Chapter 10. Creating a personal psychic now platform. So the quote I just read was from the Seth Material. And now I continue Chapter 3 in Living a Safe Universe. Creating a personal psychic now platform. The quality of experienced reality for consciousness in physical form is predicated on the use of its mental energy, pro or con. Mental energy drives consciousness in certain directions and not in others, but it always drives it somewhere. Trust ultimately implies the effective use of our mental energy. Trust ultimately implies the effective use of our mental energy. For how else can we trust? While creating haphazard and unenlightened constructions? Hardly. Remember from the introduction, we're assuming our Seth background by now is solid within us, that we trust its content implicitly. We can also assume that with help from the first 3 living books, we have clarified our focus on the portion of Seth material most conducive to conscious creation. And we can assume this means we understand that by using our mental energy, knowingly and with purpose, we have seen an uptick in our trust level. So when we talk about shoring up our trust even further by learning to more effectively use our mental energy, our first step is to once again get grounded in the logic behind how any creation materializes, and then move on to using that logic consciously. What we need to do first, then, is to bring knowledge. What we need to do first, then, is to bring that knowledge itself into even greater focus within our conscious moment-by-moment thinking, because then it will by nature form the necessary framework for our deeper psychic trust. In other words, we need to make the facts of reality creation our strong underlying mindset, something we accept without thinking about it, an aligned portion of our psyche. And why? Because we wish to enjoy psychic health, and psychic health can only be accomplished when this knowledge and its logic is already a part of our being, because it leads to the ultimate trust we seek, the trust of our whole self. So we'll start this chapter with a bare bones refresher as to how we create our reality. One not meant to educate, we already know this, but one meant to highlight in our awareness the basis within which we always work, so that everything discussed after it fits comfortably within our refreshed mental framework. Step 1, if you will. As a group, the points listed below cannot be in question or in disarray in our thoughts if we were to reach and sustain psychic health. Since these points are the logic behind creation, without this logic integrated, we'll start floating through non-logic once more, going nowhere near trust. To us, they must be seen as practical, usable, doable, and yes, as a working model we fully accept. And that's why we'll review them before moving on. The logic of creation, condensed. Nothing exists but the spacious present, which is within all that is. Consciousness is always within the spacious present. It never leaves it. It can only seem to. Simultaneous time in the spacious present is the only valid time there is. All other time constructs are artificial or camouflage. All creation can happen only within the spacious present in simultaneous time, then. All consciousness creates camouflage frameworks or realities within the spacious present for experience and growth. Consciousness that we are, each of us creates an individual, personal camouflage reality with the mental root assumptions of time, space, and matter. And we do it within this spacious present. What makes it seem like there is one reality for all, one reality which has material duration in time and space, is through telepathic agreement between us. But I only see what I create in my reality, and you only see what you create in yours. i.e., you do not see my couch. You create a copy of my couch into your reality from its framework 2 pattern, and even a copy of me in the same way. Each of our individual realities is being constantly recreated moment by moment from the spacious present. And that includes the physical matter of our bodies, homes, etc. And each recreation is completely new, built from different probabilities within the field of probabilities, creating everything afresh. Therefore, there is no duration to anything in physical reality ever. It is all new now. Our mind is not camouflage, although our brain is. Our mind is always clear and present in the spacious present. The moment point is the window between our camouflage physical framework and the spacious present, with our mind being the connective. Mental acts within our mind are the impetus behind all creation, without exception. When a composite of our mental acts, formed by thought, emotion, and imagination, reaches a certain inner intensity, the expectation created by it is translated by our inner selves from probabilities into camouflage events and material items in our individual camouflage frameworks of reality. Therefore, the mental acts we entertain in the moment point are what eventually lead to what we create in the spacious present, and then into our personal camouflage realities. And that is why everything that happens to us in physical reality, in what we perceive as linear time with cause and effect, is actually after the fact, because it all happens first in the spacious present. With that logic of creation once more under our belts, we're now nicely primed for our continuing journey into trust and psychic health. And then I want to end this part, because the chapter continues, with a quote from Seth that is from a different book, and one that I love to use and hear in my mind often, and that is this one. Oh yeah, I wrote it down somewhere. Ah yeah, here. The exterior improvements are the results of inner workings, and they represent the growth of inner confidence. The exterior improvements are the results of inner workings, and they represent the growth of inner confidence. Which means when you change, when you start to trust your inner being more, When you get out of the way and you hand everything over to your inner self, because as Bashar says, the physical mind can only see what happened after the fact, and the higher mind is the one in control and just leads everything, and you just have to be open to the inspiration that you get through the higher mind and the inner self. So when you give over the reins, which you never had but always thought you had, and believe me, been there, done that, still sometimes do, I know better by now, then you can, when you trust that, then the inner self, the inner being, the higher mind can do its job. And when it can do its job, the exterior improves. It cannot be any other way, because it is together with you co-creating your reality. Okay, this is it for now. See you in the next. Bye.